Thanks for joining us. You're watching ARIRANG News Break, live from Seoul. I'm Han Da-eun. It's a big day for Korea's ruling Saenuri Party. A party convention is scheduled for this afternoon where it will elect a new leadership. The party is looking for a fresh start after a crushing defeat in April's general election. Our political correspondent Park Ji-won has a preview of the event.
Korea's ruling Saenuri Party's 4th national convention will kick off at 2 p.m. on Tuesday to select a new leader as well as 4 new members of its Supreme Council, the party's main decision-making body. And for the first time ever, this year's convention will also select an additional special Supreme Council member representing the younger generation, with only those under the age of 45 being eligible for the position. Currently, 4 candidates are vying for the top party leader post. While 3 of them, Lee Jang-hyun, Lee Ju-young, and Han Sung-kyo, are known to belong to the party's inner faction close to President Park Geun-hye, the other candidate, Ju Ho-young, comes from a faction that puts more distance from Park. All 4 candidates have vowed to reform the party, each saying he will eradicate the long-standing internal factional frictions that brought about the Conservative Party's loss in the April's general election.
We can totally change Korean politics if I'm elected as party leader.
We cannot elect as leaders those who were the main culprit of the general election's defeat.
Our party cannot bear any more manipulations from within the party.
Elect me as your leader to end the party's hegemony of those who are close to President Park.
Some 9,000 delegates will cast their votes at the Jamsil Indoor Stadium in southern Seoul. Nearly 70,000 other eligible voters already cast their ballots at the nation's 252 voting stations on Sunday, and they will be added to the convention's vote. Results are expected to come out as early as 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Park Ji-won, ARIRANG News.
South Korea's ambassador to China has notified the Chinese government on Seoul's position regarding the deployment of the U.S. anti-missile system THAAD to the south. It's the first time South Korea has made its stance official to Beijing since the decision was announced last month. Kwon So-ah has more.
South Korea's top diplomat in Beijing met with China's special representative for the Korean Peninsula on Monday to clarify Seoul's stance on the deployment of THAAD to South Korea. This marks the first time the South Korean government has delivered its position to China through an official diplomatic channel since the deployment was confirmed last month. Ambassador Kim Jang-soo and Woo Da-wei reportedly also exchanged views on North Korea's recent missile provocations. China seemed to be reluctant to punish the North for the tests due to its opposition to the THAAD deployment. China says it will undermine regional stability and the country's security interests. Ambassador Kim's move is being seen as a more active approach by the South Korean government to deal with China's intensifying criticism rather than its earlier defensive mode. It also appears to be a shift away from parliamentary diplomacy, which is an approach 6 main opposition Minju Party of Korea lawmakers have opted for as they traveled to Beijing this week. In an indication of the government's disapproval, a planned meeting between Ambassador Kim and the lawmakers was abruptly called off. Kwon So-ah, ARIRANG News.
South Korea and Japan are set to hold talks today on Tokyo's pledge to compensate the Korean victims of Japan's wartime sexual slavery. Seoul's foreign ministry says the ministry's director general for Northeast Asian Affairs and his Japanese counterpart will meet in Seoul this morning to discuss follow-up measures to the landmark Comfort Women deal reached late last year. This is the first such meeting after the Reconciliation and Healing Foundation for the victims was launched in Seoul last month. Japan says it'll deliver the roughly $9.8 million in compensation through the foundation. We'll have more details on that after the meeting. Let's now take it to Rio, where it's day 3 of the 2016 Olympics. With a number of events held on Monday, Team Korea saw some rather disappointing and unexpected losses in judo and men's archery. Yoon Shin has a wrap-up of Monday's action.
Depending on the remaining action, Day 3 of the Rio 2016 Olympics could go down as a day to forget for Team Korea. In the biggest upset of the day, top-ranked archer Kim Woo-jin crashed out in the second round of the men's individual event. Indonesia's Rio Egg Agafa beat the 24-year-old Korean superstar 6-2. Agafa's world ranking, a relatively low 29th. Despite setting a world record in the ranking round and snagging an impressive gold in the men's team event, Kim's competitive action in Brazil ends here. Also eliminated from the Olympics was the nation's rising judo star An Chang-nim. Competing in the 73-kilogram category, An lost to his Belgian opponent by half a point in the round of 16. And in the women's 57-kilogram class, another gold medal favorite Kim Jan-di suffered defeat to a tough rival from Brazil. But fresh off her triumph in the team event, 2012 Olympic champion archer Ki Bo-bae got off to a comfortable start in the tournament round. Now set to compete in the round of 16 on Thursday, she cruised past her Kenyan and Ukrainian opponents in the rounds of 64 and 32. Swimmer Kim Sa-young, who is not a projected medal hope, has been performing well in the pool and is set to compete in the semi-final of the women's 200-meter individual medley. Although some questions remain over whether Team Korea can finish in the top 10 of the medal rankings, the nation still has high hopes for all the remaining athletes. 이은신, ARIRANG News.
Now let's get a quick glimpse at the Rio Olympics medal table and some of the upcoming events you don't want to miss out on this Tuesday. And that's all from me. Keep you tuned to ARIRANG for more top domestic and global news updates throughout the day. Thank you for watching.